Okay, picture this. You decide, today's the day. I'm going to get healthy.
A noble goal.
So you walk into one of those modern high-end grocery stores. You know, well, they smell like lavender and expensive cardboard.
I know them well.
You turn a corner, you're feeling confident, ready to take charge, and then you're faced with it. The wall.
The wall. It's imposing.
It is absolute chaos. It's just row after row, shelf after shelf, packed tight with white bottles, amber jars.
Powders, gummies.
Pouches of powder, gummies, liquids. It feels like a pharmacy because of how it's all packaged, but you just grab it, toss it in your cart next to the organic tortilla chips.
And you're standing there looking at 20 different versions of magnesium, wondering, do I need the one that says calm? Or bone strength, or the one that costs $40 for some reason.
Exactly. And that right there is the problem we're tackling today.
Yeah.
Because you stand there and you think, is this food? Is it medicine? What is this stuff?
Right.
So to help us navigate all that, we're doing a deep dive into a really comprehensive guide. It's called Understanding Supplement Classification by Lorraine Fabian from Ingredientsage.
It's a great piece, yeah, because it really highlights that this isn't just about shopping, it's about understanding a category that sits in a very specific and honestly kind of strange regulatory twilight zone.
Regulatory twilight zone. That is a phrase that makes me nervous about something I swallow every morning.
Well, it should, a little bit.
But that's the mission for this deep dive. We want to take you from being that overwhelmed shopper, just staring blankly at the zinc, to an informed consumer who knows exactly what they're looking at.
We're going to unpack what a supplement actually is, how the rules work or maybe don't work, and how to read those labels like a pro.
So I guess the best place to start is the most basic question of all.
Which is?
What actually is a supplement? Because the legal definition isn't just, it's a pill.
No, it isn't. The core definition is right there in the name. A dietary supplement is a product designed to add nutritional value to your diet.
To add to what you eat, not replace it.
Precisely. It's meant to bridge a gap. But here is the crucial distinction that really sets the stage for everything else.
Okay.
These products, they exist in this middle ground. They're not regulated like your everyday food, but they're also not regulated like pharmaceutical drugs. They're their own unique thing.
And that middle ground is where all the confusion comes from, I think.
Absolutely.
Because if it looks like medicine, and it's in a bottle like medicine, and it has one of those child-proof caps, you assume it is medicine.
You assume it works the same way, that it's been tested the same way, but it doesn't. And that physical form, the pill, the capsule, that's a huge part of the psychology. It signals treatment to our brains.
Even if the label legally can't claim to treat anything.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack the what first. The source breaks supplements down into 4 main categories. The first one is, I think, the one we all know.
You're talking about vitamins and minerals?
Right.
Yeah, the most recognized group. These are essential nutrients. And when we say essential in biology, we don't just mean it's important. We mean your body cannot make it on its own.
You have to eat it.
You must ingest it to survive.
Like vitamin C. If I don't get vitamin C, I get scurvy.
Exactly. Scurvy is the classic example. But the guide brings up a really interesting point here about something called bioavailability.
Bioavailability. That sounds like a buzzword.
It is, but it matters a lot. It just means, look, just because a mineral is in a pill doesn't mean your body can actually absorb and use it. Magnesium is a great example. You can buy cheap magnesium oxide, but your body barely absorbs any of it. Magnesium glycinate, on the other hand, is absorbed much, much better.
So even in this basic category, the form matters.
Yeah.
I might just be swallowing something that passes right through me.
You could be. It's frustratingly complex.
Okay, so that's the keep you alive category. Then we get into the second one, which feels a little more old school.
Herbal supplements. This is where history meets the modern shelf. We're talking about things like ginseng, echinacea, ashwagandha, things rooted in traditional medicine.
Plant-based stuff. But Fabian adds a note here that you need a bit of caution. Why is that? Are they just really powerful?
It's about consistency, or more accurately, the lack of it. Think about it. If you make synthetic vitamin C in a lab, every single molecule is identical. It's pure ascorbic acid, every time.
Okay.
But if you're selling echinacea root, well, where did that plant grow? Was it a rainy season? What was the soil like? When was it harvested?
So my bottle of echinacea could be totally different from your bottle, even from the same branch, because of the harvest.
It could be, yeah. Plants are complex chemical soups. They vary. That's the huge challenge of standardization in herbals.
Yeah.
You're dealing with nature's variability, not chemistry's precision.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, third category, amino acids. The source calls them the building blocks of proteins.
Which is a perfect way to visualize it. If a protein is the house, amino acids are the bricks. But they're also like the construction crew's walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies.
They're signaling molecules. They tell the body to build or to repair. That's why you see bodybuilders obsessed with them. It's not just fuel, it's the trigger.
Got it. And the fourth one, which I think has the best analogy in the text, enzymes, described as tiny workers that keep everything running smoothly.
I love that image. Biologically, they're catalysts. They just speed up chemical reactions in the body.
Give me a real-world example.
Digestion. Without enzymes, digestion would still happen, but it would take weeks. You'd starve with a full stomach.
Seriously?
Yes. Enzymes lock onto food molecules and just break them down at lightning speed. So a digestive enzyme supplement is basically hiring extra workers to help process the load.
So we've got our cast of characters, vitamins and minerals, herbals, aminos, and enzymes. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The rules of the game. Because when I read this section on regulation in this guide, I honestly had to put it down and stare at the wall for a second.
I'm guessing you're talking about the FDA's role.
Yes. I think the average person, and I'm including myself here, we just assume that if it's on a shelf at a CVS or a Whole Foods, the government has tested it.
That someone in a lab coat checked it and said, yep, this is safe and it works.
Right. And that is the single biggest misconception in the entire wellness industry, isn't it?
It really is.
So clarify this for us. Does the FDA approve supplements before they go on the shelf?
No. Plain and simple. The FDA does not test or approve dietary supplements for safety and effectiveness before they hit the market.
Okay, wait, let that sink in. A prescription drug has to go through 10 years and billions of dollars of trials to prove it works before you can sell one pill.
Correct.
But a supplement company doesn't have to prove anything to the FDA before shipping it to the store.
Essentially, yes. In the drug world, the burden of proof is on the maker before a sale. In the supplement world, the manufacturer is responsible for ensuring safety and proper labeling, but they don't have to submit any clinical data to get a green light.
That feels wild. Is it just the Wild West out there? Can I put sawdust in a capsule and sell it as Fiber Plus?
Well, not entirely. It's not a total free-for-all.
Okay.
The FDA uses what's called post-market surveillance.
Post-market, meaning after I've already bought it and swallowed it.
Correct. The regulation is reactive, not proactive. If a product is found to be unsafe, or if people start getting sick and reporting it, then the FDA has the power to step in.
They can issue recalls.
Recalls, lawsuits, they can pull it from the market. But they're chasing the problem after it's already happened.
Why on earth is it set up this way?
It all comes down to a specific law mentioned in the source, DSHEA, the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994.
1994. So we're operating on rules that are 30 years old.
We are, and you have to understand the context. In the early 90s, the FDA was threatening to regulate supplements like drugs.
And people didn't like that.
People freaked out. There's this huge public campaign. The thinking was the government was going to take away your vitamin C. So DSHEA was the big compromise.
So what did it actually do?
It carved out this special legal category for dietary supplements. It explicitly separated them from foods and from drugs. It created that middle lane we talked about. It gave us access and variety, but the trade-off was this: innocent until proven guilty, regulatory style.
We traded safety assurance for access.
That's one way to put it. It puts the responsibility heavily on the manufacturers, to be honest, and on us, the consumers, to be smart.
Which brings us to the practical part. If the FDA isn't pre-approving these, reading the label becomes an investigation, a survival skill.
It really is. And Fabian's guide highlights what to look for. First, just like food has nutrition facts, supplements have to have a supplement facts panel.
Which looks pretty similar.
It does. It lists the ingredients, serving size, all that. That part is straightforward. Where it gets tricky is the language of claims.
Claims. Boosts energy. Supports heart health. The source breaks them down, but let's focus on that last one. Structure function claims. That sounds like something an architect would say.
It's the most common loophole. Here's the rule. A supplement cannot claim to treat, cure, or prevent a disease. That's illegal.
A hard line.
But they can make a structure function claim. This describes how a nutrient affects the normal structure or function of the body, like calcium builds strong bones. That's true. It's a function.
Okay. But what about something vague like supports heart health? I see that everywhere.
That is the classic example. To you, the consumer, supports heart health sounds a whole lot like prevents heart attacks.
Your brain fills in the gap.
It does. But legally and scientifically, supports is a very, very vague term. It's telling you the ingredients are involved in how the heart functions. It is not promising a medical outcome.
So that's a structure-function claim.
Correct. It's a statement of mechanism, not a statement of a cure.
It's such a subtle linguistic trick. You read supports and your brain just hears fixes.
And that is by design. And isn't there always a little disclaimer that goes with it?
Oh yeah, the famous asterisk.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. That sentence is the legal shield for the entire industry.
So the tip here is ignore the big bold letters on the front. That's just marketing.
The front is the pitch. The back is the proof.
So knowing all this, why do we even take them? I mean, are we just being duped? The source does list some valid reasons.
Oh no, we're not being duped. They have a real place. The main reason is just nutritional gaps. Let's be honest, eating a perfectly balanced organic diet every single day is incredibly hard.
It's impossible. Some days my diet is just coffee and anxiety.
Exactly. So a multivitamin can act as an insurance policy. It bridges that gap. That's a legitimate use. And the other is specific goals, An athlete building muscle, a pregnant woman needing folic acid.
But, and there's always a but, we have to talk about the risks.
Yes, the interaction with medications is a huge one. There's this idea that because something is natural, it must be safe.
Right, arsenic is natural.
Exactly. Poison ivy is natural. Some supplements can really mess with prescription drugs. St. John's wort, for example, it's popular for mood, but it can make birth control pills less effective.
That's terrifying. You could be taking a natural mood booster and accidentally neutralizing your actual medication.
And your doctor wouldn't even know because you didn't think to mention it.
The source also mentions hidden ingredients.
Right, because the FDA isn't testing every batch. Some products, especially for weight loss or muscle building, have been found to contain things that aren't on the label, sometimes even banned drugs.
Which leads to the more is better trap. I'm so guilty of this. If one vitamin C gummy is good, 5 must make me immortal.
We all think that way. But with biology, more isn't always better. Best case, you just have expensive urine.
And worst case?
Toxicity, especially with fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. They get stored in your body fat, they build up. You can absolutely overdose on vitamins.
So given this landscape of variable quality and confusing labels, how does a person shop safely?
It comes down to due diligence. Since the government isn't vouching for quality up front, you have to look for brands that vouch for themselves in credible ways.
So what do we look for?
First, look for GMP. That stands for Good Manufacturing Practices. It's a regulatory standard for cleanliness, record-keeping, process. It's a baseline sign of professionalism.
But is there something even better, something that proves what's in the bottle?
Yes. Third-party testing. This is the gold standard.
Someone else checked their homework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Organizations like NSF International or USP, the United States Pharmacopoeia, these are independent groups. A company pays them to test the product and verify 2 things.
What are they?
1, that what's on the label is actually in the bottle. And 2, that there are no contaminants like lead or mercury.
So if I see a USP or NSF seal on the bottle, I can trust it.
You can trust the purity and the identity. It doesn't prove it will work, but it proves it's safe and it is what it says it is. And in this market, that's huge.
So it really is about shifting that responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to be the investigator.
It's about empowerment. The mission here was to move you from overwhelmed to informed. Being informed means you understand a supplement is a tool, it's not magic, and it's not a drug.
You have to read the manual.
And check the fine print. Always check the fine print. And remember that natural is a marketing term, not a safety guarantee.
So let's wrap this up. Supplements are a unique category defined by that DSHEA Act of 1994. They're designed to complement a healthy diet, not substitute for it.
And while they can be very beneficial, the lack of pre-market FDA approval means quality varies. The system is reactive.
So your homework? Next time you're facing the wall, be curious but be skeptical. Don't just look at the shiny sticker on the front, flip the bottle over, read the back, look for those third-party seals.
And please, talk to a healthcare professional before you start a new regimen. That conversation with your doctor is probably the most valuable supplement you can get.
I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. We talked about how the industry is defined by post-market regulation. This system catches problems after they happen.
Right.
In a world where we are all obsessed with wellness and prevention, does that structure make sense? If the safety net only catches you after you fall, does the responsibility for safety ultimately fall on the manufacturer, to be honest? Or does it fall entirely on us, the consumers, to be our own researchers?
It's a heavy question. It suggests that in the supplement aisle, knowledge isn't just power, it's your only safety net.
Something to think about while you're swallowing your morning multivitamin. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.